Brian Evans.
Welcome, Mr. Evans. You have 5 minutes.
Brian Evans. When I discussed fiscal responsibilities to fund public safety with our city leaders, such as making our use tax fully earmarked for police and fire and other ideas, I was told that the belt could not be tightened, but if I wanted to find the money, I was welcome to find money in the budget. Thus, my search began within our budget and financial reports. However, time isn't a luxury our police and fire have, so I assembled a team of business leaders, accountants, an attorney, and others who've been generously donating their valuable personal time and helping me find answers. In doing so, our team agreed that if we found concerns, we wouldn't go public with anything with fiscal responsibility, fraud, or mismanagement if it was there. Instead, that we would run it by our elected leaders, you, to look into. However, last meeting, Councilman Stinnett officially made our concerns public, ones that we sent in a private email. Therefore, Mr. Stinnett, you may call it misinformation, but publicly attacking citizens for information that they sent to you in a private email is completely wrong. In fact, it was you that announced in a live council meeting calling it misinformation. I find it disrespectful and dishonest, and I think that you owe these citizens an apology who have donated their time trying to help you be aware. You should never silence or publicly attack citizens' concerns in who are in private messages. Secondly, I want to talk about the document which is up on your screen, that you said they need to be more careful on their math calculations and stated that they were wrong. I admit you caught me off guard as I hadn't actually seen the document yet, but it is up on the screen tonight. In that document, which is from the year-end 2021 Comprehensive Financial Report on page 14 or 14 in here, or page 22 on the online PDF, it can be found that it was not our team that was incorrect, as we ran it by several accountants, a CPA, business leaders, and others, and it is approximately a $22.6 million error. You can see it was highlighted. One CPA told me that the line could have been omitted, but they also said that it was highly concerning in and of itself. But a $22.6 million error like this could be far worse, and at best show a lack of fiscal accountability and the need to stop doing manual budgeting and payroll. Not to mention making our city more efficient, accountable, and transparent to these type of errors that are riddled throughout many of our financial reports that I have some of them today. Sadly, this is just one of the many red flags we've discovered. Some that we are still having checked out. At a minimum, these call for an audit. Finally, Mr. Stinnett, you tried to imply that if I'm pushing for a state or forensic audit, that I am implying fraud or corruption, as you said that the state doesn't just go around doing audits without citizens pointing out misappropriation of funds with a state audit. However, your statement is a little off. Yes, a forensic audit is an audit that investigates fraud, and it's truly my hope that that's not the case, but for this council to assume that things are always perfect would be irresponsible. Not to mention the page on the screen was audited by your auditing firm that has been doing these financial audits what looks like to be the last 16 years, which is another red flag. Additionally, the purpose of a state audit, if you go to auditor.mo.gov, where it states the state auditor's office determines if tax dollars are spent efficiently, economically, and legally, and how well the public funds are protected from potential fraud or abuse. Therefore, a state audit is designated to ensure the protection of our constituents' money, our money, as to ensure that this city is doing their job to be proactive, efficient, economical, and legal with our money, as well as how good of a job that you're doing to ensure our safeguards are in place and utilized to protect the taxpayers' money from fraud or abuse. Don't you want Joplin residents to know that their tax dollars are safe? But then if the city's failed in any of these, that's when we go to a forensic audit. My team has been proactive in that effort and contacted the state auditor and a forensic auditing firm and their attorney as to ensure that we know how to do our job appropriately as a citizen and how to move forward. In conclusion, if anyone can show me the numbers that we presented in the 2021 governmental financial audit or analysis on the screen are in error, please say so now. Mr. Stinnett, you said that 99.9% of the information we have put out is misinformation. If you could tell me one piece of information that we've put out to the citizens that's misinformation, or even to this council.
I'll be glad to respond to you, but this is not the page where the mistake was made.
That's
It was a different page. There was more than one page put out at that point in time.
that's the one you referred to last
No,
week.
it was not, sir.
Well, can you explain the $22.6 million error?
No, sir. But that's not the page that I mentioned last time.
Okay,
I'll be
well-
happy to get that and send it to you so you can
I
see.
would love to see it, but I'm just
I
saying.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
You can't explain the 22.6?
Sir, that's not my position to explain that. I'm sure that it will be looked into.
We've been sending this email to each and every council member. We've sent numerous other ones that we're concerned about, and we get a few emails, but for the most part, crickets, which is highly concerning as a citizen, because it is not just your money, it's our money. And, you know, I'm doing this not to try to demonize anybody or criticize anybody, but this is our job as a citizen to make sure our money is being spent and safeguarded.
Do you plan on coming to the budget hearings that we're going to be having starting tomorrow night?
I'm going to be coming to them, some of them, and I'm going to be watching the rest of them. I guarantee I watch every single council meeting. I watch everything online that I'm not here, yes.
Okay.
I do have kids that are in sports. I'm missing my kids' sports tonight. I missed it last time and many other times, so I try to do a lot, but I promise you I watch everything and know. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that there's an error.
Mr. Evans, I'm not going to respond publicly.
Okay.
I've asked, and I'm continuing to ask for information about every email that's been sent. And when I have all the information, I will be glad to share it all with you.
Did you not say 99.9% of the stuff we put out was misinformation?
I probably did say that.
Yes.
And of the stuff that I've received, I would say a good portion of it is misinformation.
I would love to see that.
I'm going to present it to you, sir. You just give me the time to get it, and I'll be glad to.
Call me anytime. You got my number.
I have your number. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Your 5 minutes is up.
Mayor, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I had a question for Brian.
Yeah.
Can you enlarge on where this information came from?
The $22.6 million is in the annual comprehensive financial report that the city puts out and the auditing firm goes through. It's on page 14, but if you go online, the city's website, it is on page 22. The biggest issue, because we had a ton of information, numbers that were different from the end of one year to the beginning of the next year and so forth. I mean, we got a ton of data that we've sent in. But the main concern is this needs to be looked into because we have an auditing firm that's gone through this. The same auditing firm year after year after year, which even the, I believe, we're National League of Cities, aren't we a member of? They've even highly recommended against that. They said that is a serious danger to allowing issues to happen within a budget. So it's all within the financial reports and the budgets that we get these. But this one was from the financial report this last year's.
Okay. Now, you said that we've had the same auditing firm for 16 years.
That's my understanding, yes.
What exactly are you saying is the significance of that?
Well, one of the things that they recommend is not allowing the same auditing firm to do it year in and year out because they get a lot of times a cozy relationship. They overlook things, they get comfortable, they get to know people within the city, and they say you should change every few years your auditing firm for the sake of security for the citizens' tax dollars.
Hasn't Joplin changed the auditing firm?
As I understand, no.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Leslie's had a chance to look at the information that's been submitted and I believe has some information to share, so I'd like Leslie to come forward, please.
Thank you. I would like to thank Mr. Evans for taking a look at our audit and bringing this question up. I would like to address it. I know this is really hard to see. I don't know if you can blow that up any. So Mr. Evans is talking about our 2021 consider the information presented here in conjunction with the transmittal letter at the beginning of this report and the city's financial statements which follow this section. The discussion and analysis is provided as an introduction to the basic financial statements only. They are not the financial statements. But if you will take a look at this, the two numbers are incorrect, but the total that's highlighted in yellow,
If you will scroll for me, please.
please. Yes, right there. These are the actual financial statements, and the totals do match. It's just the formulas were not correct on those two numbers, and I do apologize for that error, but the total assets are correct. I also want to point out one more thing. So each year, our audit, our annual financial report is submitted to the Government Finance Officers Association for the award, the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. So each year that's submitted, we won't learn about the 2021 results until next month probably. But the 2020 audit received that Certificate of Excellence, and that is the 31st consecutive year that the city has received the Certificate of Excellence in financial reporting. And we anticipate that the 2021 audit will receive that again. As to the question about the auditors for the city, we bid that out every 4 to 5 years. It is based on price and quality. The last time that we presented it, council unanimously voted to award to Cochran Head Vick and Company. There are only a handful of auditing companies that have the ability that, number one, do governmental audits and have the ability to audit the city of Joplin, a city of our size. And so it is impossible to constantly be changing auditors. Actually, the recommendation is, in order to address the concerns that Mr. Evans is mentioning, is to rotate the staff. And the staff is never the same from one year to the next. So I would be happy to answer any questions, and I apologize for the error. I do appreciate Mr. Evans bringing that to my attention, and if there are any, I always encourage citizens, if you see anything, please give me a call. I'm happy to talk to anyone. So I'd be happy to answer any questions for City Council.
Council? Mr. Cortez.
Thank you, Mayor. So as the way I'm looking at this, and when we're breaking it down on this page that we're currently viewing versus the page that we were looking at where the errors were, when you add all this together, we're coming up with the right information. It was just inadvertently entered incorrectly on this line item that we're currently looking at now.
Correct. So first of all, the financial statements are correct. The total assets are correct. It's just the one number for 2021 on the governmental activity, which then obviously flows over to the total.
And just for clarification purposes, it's the current and other assets line where the information was entered correctly. But if you could scroll down for me again, Mr. Lawson. When we go to this page and look at it as broken down individually, all of that information is correct and has the right information on it to get the totals as they should be.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody else? Ms. Haas, thank you.
Thank you.
Public hearings?
We have none.